Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor,
My name's Hunter too.
and man, I think the wind is out of the sails already. What
Yeah,
a terrible weekend.
Dogs don't win again.
Dogs don't like cold weather.
Softball
But
swept, I think.
softball swept.
Who'd they sweep?
South Carolina.
Look at us.
Women's basketball put up a fight.
They won around the 64 game.
Yeah, they won 2 games in the NCAA tournament. Tennis got their highest ranked win of all time, men's tennis, over the number 2 ranked South Carolina. But yeah,
Don't know what that noise was.
let's take 5 seconds to stop Mississippi State baseball. I mean, what on earth was that?
Are we going to take the 5 seconds starting now?
All right. We have a little Tuesday morning segment that we're going to start. It's just like this. I mean, I don't think we're going to normally be recording on Tuesdays, but just on the days where we are, we're just going to kind of pick apart an old saying. I don't even know what the name of this segment can be.
Tuesday
right now,
morning.
Tuesday
sayings
morning
that don't
segments,
make sense
segment
on
slayers.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I just have one question for Sally, who sells seashells by the seashore. Why would you choose the seashore to sell these seashells?
Yeah, it's like you don't see kids selling lemonade under lemon trees.
At the lemonade factory.
Yeah.
You know, like she could have moved inland and supply and demand would have allowed her to, first of all, get paid more. Second of all, probably get more sales because anybody can see a seashell like stand and be like, oh, but why would I not just go pick one up out of the ocean? You
Also,
know?
who's buying a seashell?
I mean, tourists. Tourists are buying seashells.
Did Sally think about the ecological effects of removing like a necessary thing from the seashore?
One time I was in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and I was told if I took a sand dollar out of the ocean, I'd be fined for it. Like, what are y'all doing, counting them? But no,
You'll
I mean,
ruin the economy. Get it? Because it's $1. You will deflate the economy.
Right. There you go. I just think Sally could have had a better business model. I mean, move to a landlocked state and really watch these margins just explode.
Yeah, like, why isn't she in, like, Kansas?
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
Iowa.
named
Just go to the
Sally, she's
Midwest.
probably from Kansas.
Right. I don't know. She has a lot to learn if she's planning on making it in business school. But anyway,
You never hear about Sally. She probably failed.
probably so. Yeah, that's what we got. So
That's Going for Two with Jack Taylor. We'll see you on Thursday.
I wish. All right. So looking back at this weekend, I'm just going to be honest with you. On this episode, I can be like the numbers guy. I can give you numbers that I can see on the stat sheet. But I gave up on the Dogs very early in the Saturday and Sunday games. Friday was a different story because Friday we looked like a competent baseball team for
Ish. At times.
I mean, a good portion of the game. Maybe not offensively, but I mean, pitching wise, I thought we looked good for 7 innings.
Not the first or last.
Not the first or the 10th, but I thought we looked okay, and we'll talk about each game kind of all together, but maybe separately in some ways.
Basically
yeah, Saturday,
Friday and then the other two.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday though, like I could see the wheels falling off. A few key things. I saw Colton Ledbetter just let a ball get past him in center field, and that allowed a rally to either start or keep going. And I turned it off at that point, and I was like, you know what, I'm not watching a team like this. And then Sunday, I gave him another chance, and I watched Graham Eintema not record a single out and give up like 4 runs in the first inning, and I just gave up. And I probably would have done the same if I had been watching from the very beginning of Durangela's start on Friday, but I did not. So I just want to say our expectations for this team were not through the roof, but oh my gosh.
Like, I know we said that we were gonna like win the series and everything, but it was kind of gonna be like kind of a BS way of winning a series. Like, like, oh,
Yeah.
one big inning, that'll do it. Like, we'll win like 10-8.
Yeah.
It
That's
wasn't
what
gonna.
it was
It
going to
wasn't
take
gonna
on
be like a
Sunday.
6-0. Like,
Yeah. Uh, I don't know what I was expecting. And I'm not even talking about like coming into this weekend, but like coming into this season, I was like, I mean, surely it'll be better, but I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like. Well, it's starting out not better. Last year, we did lose the first series of the year to Georgia, but we salvaged the last game and actually put up a lot of runs to kind of show like there is some potential with the offense. This offense this year is supposed to be even better because we have transfers and newcomers like as freshmen that are supposed to be able to consistently string hits together and score runs. I mean, just do what offense is supposed to do. But man, it just it really was not good from the start. I know I mentioned Jorangelo's start on Friday, and he ended up turning it into a really good start, I thought, especially from a freshman standpoint. And I'll give this to him. He's from Florida, and I know from the Caribbean and at some point in his life. So like pitching in cold weather against his first SEC opponent, probably not the easiest thing for him to do. And he looked really bad to start it off, but he turned it into, like I said, a good outing, to where like the game was not his fault. The loss was not his fault. Um, yeah, he gifted Kentucky 4 runs in the first inning of that game, and I forgot how exactly he did that.
there was, I think they scored 3 in the first,
Scored 4 in the first.
4 in the first, and yeah, that was it. He
Yeah,
walked.
I
He
I
walked
know.
a ton of guys.
Yeah, he had 2 hit by pitches and 2 walks at least. There was a bunt single that ended up scoring a run as well. Anyway, it just wasn't a great start for him, but he turned it around, and I thought it was a pretty admirable start considering how he began the game. Um, but our starting pitching gifting Kentucky these 4 runs in the first inning of Game 1, it really did kind of set the tone for the series for how starting pitching was going to be. Um, and all that being said, I mean, I thought Landon Gartman really did start the game well. I mean, it was the best beginning to the game of any of the 3 games that we had, but just overall, starting pitching this past weekend, just wasn't what it needs to be in SEC play. And I'll give some numbers here as we get into our pitching talk. Starting pitching for those 3 games against Kentucky: 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 16 walks or hit by pitch, and 16 runs given up. All that being said, Graham Eintema did not factor into that 9 innings pitched because he did not record an out. So I guess it should be nine innings pitched plus, just because there was a little bit more, but no outs recorded to put there. But yeah, 5 for Durangelo on Friday, and then 4 for Gartman, who started off well, had a lot of strikeouts and a lot of strikeouts looking early on, but it got bad, and it got bad quick for Gartman as he gave up, I think 7 runs in his 4 innings. I mean, just not good.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time.
Actually, gave up 8 runs now looking at it.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to go back
what do
to
you have on
kind
that?
of the Friday bullpen thing?
Mhm.
Okay, so Lou kind of salvages that start, and then we put in KC. I was a little scared. He gave us 2 really good innings.
Came in in a 1-run game, by the way.
Yeah, and like looked like good through 2 innings. It got a little bit scary there for a little bit, and we gave him another inning. I was like, I know like hindsight, but I text you. I'm like, why is KC in? Like, take him out. Like,
I was scared for him to come out for a second inning.
Yeah, I didn't want to see it, and people were like, I think Steve was like, yeah, you got to put him out there for the third, get his confidence up. I'm like, no, you got to win the game.
I thought 2 innings was enough for his confidence to come up, because in the second inning, like you said, he got into some trouble.
It was just a little bit not
Like
as
there was a
electric.
like I think he might have gotten it out, and then he gave up a double, and then a wild pitch got that runner to third. Like he had some pressure with the runner at third, and he was able to get out of that with a strikeout. And I mean, I was fired up for him for getting those 2 innings. I was scared, but I mean, that's what you need to do.
He went
SEC
and got
play,
him, and
get these guys some confidence. The third inning was a little much, and
yeah,
it proved to be what lost
like
us
we
the
have
game.
enough bullpen that I don't think we have to do that. And heck, we have Dom use him.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
came in anyways.
obviously the plan was, salvage this game by putting Dom in there, and we still went to KC. So, um,
And like, if Dom didn't come in after KC, I would understand leaving KC out there. But if
right.
Dom was ready, why is
That
he
like
just
if they had turned to the bullpen and had nobody up ready, or if it was like Tyson Harden or somebody, not trying
they
to
like
throw.
hurried someone in so you
I'm
could
not trying to
save
throw
Dom?
strays at Tyson Harden, but I mean, just somebody that's less than Dom. Like you said, I would have understood, but obviously that was the plan.
Dom
And
was ready, and I know it's gonna sound like we're speaking from hindsight, but
in all, it wasn't like Casey let the bases get loaded and then gave up a big hit or something. He just walked the leadoff guy, and then we went to Dom, and ultimately that runner comes around to score. Um, so yeah, it wasn't. I mean,
it wasn't like it was bad. It's just I didn't see the like we know what KC is, and getting two from him felt really really good.
I think the whole like send a guy out there, and if he gets a base runner on, then you take him out. I think that should be applied to a starter. Like if if they were
And
wanting
not in a
Durangelo
one run game when you have Dom ready.
what?
And not in a one run game when you have Dom ready.
Yeah, exactly. But if like Durangelo had, I mean, if it had been like a very comfortable setting for him, like the temperature was good and
I would
everything,
have
like if
given him
this game had
another
been in
too.
Starkville, what?
I would have given him another.
That's what I'm saying. Like you put him in, and then maybe if he gets a base runner on or gives up a hit or something, like that's when you take him out and you let the standing ovation happen and whatever. But this is a cold game on the road.
20 people in attendance, all state fans.
Right. So I mean, it was a setting like I was proud of KC for having the outing that he had. I hate that this is how we have to remember it because it really was a good outing, and I mean, they hardly touched him, but it was that walk that came around to score to tie the game. Ultimately, led us to extra innings, and then we lost because of two back-to-back wild pitches by Nate Dom. But I hate that we have to remember that Casey outing by that. But
Yeah, and because like I'm pretty much I don't want KC to pitch, but I was like, okay, cool, we got 2 innings, good.
yeah,
Let's pack it
like
up.
we found another guy that can bridge to Dom.
And heck, if he throws two, we can throw him Sunday.
Right, and I firmly believe that if Dom had come in to start that, would have been to start the 8th inning, right?
I think so.
That's when he
Yeah, because he didn't go
Yeah.
4.
6. Yeah, so that would have started the 8th inning. I think he gets 2 clean innings because
Yeah.
Dom does not walk batters, so like there wouldn't have been a base runner on, and anyway, um, that was the Friday game. Like I said, I thought the bullpen was managed well, except for that one minor mishap with Casey getting an extra batter. But
Also would have liked Sierra there instead of KC, and
well, I would have liked it. But I mean,
but
obviously it
KC
worked out.
worked. KC worked.
It
It's
did
just
work.
the one extra batter.
Right. That's what's so frustrating about it. But moving on to Saturday, obviously we've mentioned the outing by Landon Gartman. He started out well, got 4 innings, but man, when it got bad I guess it got bad in the 3rd. No, it all just got bad in the 4th, and then he came back out for the 5th, and then it got worse. So, 8 runs given up by Gartman in his 4 innings of work. But this is where we're just going to lump together Saturday and Sunday and talk about the bullpen. So the bullpen, in 14 innings of work for over 2 games, they gave up 20 hits, 8 walks, and 17 runs. A number that I'm actually impressed by is the 8 walks. This bullpen came in, and I'll give them credit. They threw some strikes. Um, the strikes were absolutely plastered by Kentucky hitting. Um, I mean, 20 hits and 17 runs is wild.
It's
In
Kentucky, by
four,
the way.
in 14, yeah,
It's cold, also.
it's a team that had a good batting average, but had 9 home runs on the year. Um, I think they might have had 5 this weekend. So that's fun. Whew. The bullpen was not good, but for all those people saying come in and just throw strikes, that really is a thing when you have like a sizable lead where you can just trust your defense, and if they hit a long ball, so oh well. Like when you're behind the 8 ball the whole weekend, like I mean, you need guys that can come in and just shut down innings and throw strikes. I mean, not throw strikes. That's what I'm trying not to say. And like get shut down
Denounce.
innings so that I mean your offense can maybe generate something.
I like
But
Sierra.
Thierry was
was
good.
good.
What was his line? Like,
He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs,
yeah.
1
I mean
walk.
that seems to be. I mean that's a great bullpen line.
Colby
Just about
Holcomb
any
had a
game.
horrible one, but he was being squeezed on 2 of his walks. So
Who?
Colby Holcomb, he went a third, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks.
Yeah. And it wasn't a great weekend for the bullpen, and for that this is where the whole like fire Foxhall thing is coming in. And I don't know how doom and gloomy you want to get, Hunter, but I think this is kind of where we are.
Yeah. So you ever like ask a nerd what search engine they use? Or like,
No.
yeah, it's Firefox. Yeah, Firefox.
I hate you.
Yeah, came up with that one real quick.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
it's what
pretty good.
browser they use, not search engine. Nerds are gonna be mad. I'm a nerd, by the way, for everyone.
Luke's
listening.
gonna be pissed. Um,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, also back to the Friday night thing, and the wild pitch that scored them, and Kentucky won on. Okay, we had a wild pitch the pitch before, and you know what it was with our pitcher who throws 98? A spiked curveball. Okay, guy's on third now. Can't let him score. What do you call? Keep in mind he throws 98.
And doesn't throw balls. Like
He throws 98.
and he throws strikes.
He throws 98.
And
He calls another
we call
curveball.
another curveball that gets spiked, and our freshman catcher just, for good reason, has a tough time stabbing that. We're gonna get into the hitting. I don't want this to seem like we're all blaming us on the pitching.
The hitting's going to be
Because-
longer.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna tell you the bullpen was bad, but a lot of those guys are young guys or newcomers that
From pitching in a game that they're down 10.
yeah, like that's just gonna happen. I mean, Mississippi State baseball and the national championship tore up like a really really good Vanderbilt pitching staff simply because hitting is just contagious. Like that's just gonna happen. But it's hard to look at this and just blame the pitching. The hitting is going to get blamed too. But the look of this pitching staff 2 years removed from like the best staff ever, like possibly one of the best staffs in college baseball, like strikeout wise, the best team ever. It's hard to watch, and it's hard to not think that Lamar or that Foxhall just got carried by a few guys named Landon Sims, Will Bednar, Christian McLeod, Ethan Small. Like
Houston
there's what?
Houston Harding, weirdly.
Houston Harding.
Houston Harding would be the Friday night starter right now.
Right. I mean, JT Ginn for another one. Peyton Plumley. There's good names.
And then there's a long list of names that should have been good but weren't at all. And
Eric
right now
Santola
it
at
seems
the
like
top
we
of that.
have a lot of those names that should be good but aren't at all.
Yeah. So I don't think that Foxhall will be the pitching coach here next year. I don't think that Lamonis will get fired. But hey, back-to-back last place in the SEC, that warrants being fired. I don't care if you're 2 years removed from a national championship. That is
You're getting Gene
inexcusable.
Chiswicked.
That is inexcusable because at that point anybody can look at you and say that you were carried by those pitchers I just named and TA and Rowdy.
And those hitters that you didn't recruit.
Right. So I don't want to get too, like I said, I don't want to get too doom and gloom, but
we're staring last in the SEC
not,
with single digit wins. Right.
This is not one of the better teams in the SEC. I will be shocked if they are a top half of the SEC. Kentucky, I'm talking about. Like we just got destroyed by them. I know Tennessee also lost a series to a team that I would consider one of the worst 4 teams in the SEC, but I think Tennessee's going to be fine. I don't see the same for Mississippi State.
No.
Right now. One last thing on our pitching. Itama, I think that experiment is over on starting pitching at least. I'm just going to list a few pitchers, and you can name a few more if you don't think this list is complete. But Bradley Lofton, Parker Stinnett, Cade Smith, Nate Dom, and Evan Sierra all have 100% more upside than Itama in starting.
Can I put Holcomb in that list?
Sure, I'll take it. I'll take Bradley Lofton. I know the walks are there, but obviously
at least he's consistent.
Yeah, and at least he can get out of his own trouble. Parker, he's started in the SEC before, and he's won games. Cade, same thing. Dom, he throws strikes. And Evan Sierra, he's shown that he can go at least 4 innings with some decent hitting teams.
Are all the injured guys ever going to come back?
I don't know. They're going to get ejected before they come back.
Would you come back?
Yeah, I don't.
That sounds like a fun transition into our batting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you want to get into that one?
Sure, I'll give you a few numbers here, and then you can talk about how it looked. But Kentucky, I'm going to say they gave up because I don't really know if our hitters really earned any of this. But Kentucky gave up 20 hits. They walked 18 batters, and they committed 6 errors. And all our offense could do was score 11 runs with that over 3 games. All those numbers, 20 hits, 18 walks, and 6 errors, all way above Kentucky's average for the year. I think they were the best team walks-wise for any pitching staff in the SEC. And I think they had committed 12 errors coming into the weekend. So they committed, half that in just the weekend.
They weren't good.
Their pitching was not good. And
their starters had a higher whip than ours.
All we could do is score 11 runs. And the number that I found that is just the most staggering, but it was easy for me to believe because I watched, the part that I did watch, we did ground out a lot. A lot of our outs unproductive. How about 36 ground outs and 22 strikeouts?
Jeez.
13 of the strikeouts were on Friday night, so that's just 9 over the last 2 games. But, 36 ground outs, 2 of them were into double plays. That is just completely not getting just not getting the ball out of the infield. No possibility for plays to be made on the base paths. We can't produce runs in any way except for getting base hits, and that is just not the sign of a good offense. Productive outs are how you it's how you help when your offense is struggling.
I'm looking for our runners in scoring position. Someone posted it, and it was hilariously bad for the Sunday game.
At one point, we were 1 for 22. I think that was early on Sunday. 1 for 22 with runners in scoring position. But over the weekend, 29 runners left on base. And I know last week we really did harp on the top 4 in our lineup. For those 2 games in Biloxi, the top 4 in our lineup reached base 20 times and had, I think, 12 hits to 8 walks. Well, this weekend, 6 hits, 8 walks, 1 RBI, and 0 stolen bases. I know like over half of our stolen bases come from Amani Larry and Colton Ledbetter. 0 stolen bases, I think, for the entire team all weekend. Nobody was getting on base, and when they weren't able to move because we were grounded out on the first pitch the very next at bat. So, did you find that stat yet?
I was 1 for 23, and I think that was in like the, I don't know what inning that was in, but
Yeah.
disgusting.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
You know what? I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt of, like, maybe this was just a bad weekend weather-wise, like cold weekend. Our hitting got cold at just the wrong time, and all facets of our team just got you know discouraged. Pitching was down, like you said, coming into a game where you're down 10 runs. It's hard to have that competitive edge. So, because we saw that Landon Sims even did that in the SEC tournament. I would love to say that that's what cost this team this series and made it look so embarrassing. But after watching it last year, I just have no reason to believe this isn't just going to be every weekend.
We couldn't. We averaged 3.5 runs a game this weekend, and their pitching wasn't good. The dude was throwing 86-mile-per-hour fastballs. This is supposed to be like one of the best offenses in the SEC.
Yeah.
Or
if this was the first time that I've seen our offense go cold this season, which I know is unlikely, but like if this is the first time, I would be like, it was just a tough weekend. But we struggled to string hits together against
Hunter Hines had 4 RBIs. That's
yeah.
He scored 11 runs.
I'll bring that up. Let's look at 2 guys who actually, I think, carried their weight.
Wait, are those the only 11 runs? Those are 9 of them. Oh,
right.
Goodness.
That's what I said. Hunter Hines, 6 hits, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Got intentionally walked twice. Kellum Clark, 4 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. That's 9 RBIs. The 9 of the 11 runs that we scored came from 2 guys on the team. And we scored 20. We had 20 hits on the weekend. 10 of them right there. Half of the production, hits wise, came from them. Major majority of the runs came from them, and that's just. I mean, they're the veterans. You'd expect them to be a big portion of our hitting, but not 100% of it.
Don't worry. Luke walked with the bases loaded on Friday.
There you go.
Can't forget that one. Oh, captain, my captain.
My
And
little
then then Saturday left the game in like the 3rd inning because he had a strained back.
Poor Luke.
Man, you just hate to see it. Putting the team on his back must have hurt. Sorry. Luke came out.
It was just the weight of carrying the team,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously, I mean, huge weekend for Hunter Hines. I really don't want to understate that. He looked really good. Kellum looked good in games 1 and 3.
Who got the other RBI?
You be talking. I'll try to find it. Talk about these other issues that we have going on.
Okay. We don't have a catcher. At the moment. I don't know if Ross isn't ready because we said, Luke, you're going to be the catcher. You're getting all the reps. And I know that's not how like baseball practice works and everything. Like they were obviously rotating, but it's painfully aware that Ross was not ready for this season. And because you see him, he has like all the tools. Like he'll have like flash plays where he's just excellent, but it's not consistent. He can't block balls. He's athletic, so he kind of makes up for some of the deficiencies, but I feel like we really, really messed up bringing or begging some of the old guys to come back on this team. And that was something I was worried about before the season even started. I think that set us back in the transfer portal because we could have went out and got another catcher. We could have. We're Mississippi State. We could have went out and got another starting pitcher. Nope, we brought KC back. It's like, and we started him first weekend. So obviously he came back for that,
Like that he only turned down opportunity with the Pirates to come back here and be a starting pitcher. Like that
and
had
it's
to have been
obviously
promised.
he was told, yeah, you're going to be an SEC starter. And I think that set us back in the transfer portal because right there, I mean, and it's great to have Luke back. And I guess it's good to have KC back, but could we not go get better?
Yeah.
Like we did it, I guess, with other positions. Like it seemed, we didn't upgrade any positions. All we brought in was replacements. We
Yeah.
didn't have a second baseman. We brought in a second baseman. We didn't have a center fielder. We brought in a center fielder. And that was it. And this roster had massive turnover. It's not like there's a lot of returning guys.
Yeah. I mean, they're either transfers or freshmen.
Like that's
you know,
it.
and you have Kellum, Luke, and Hunter Hines,
And Lane.
and Lane Forsythe. Yeah. Man, I don't know.
Did you find who got the other RBI?
I think it must have been an error, like a no
course it
RBI or
was.
something. Because there's not another one to be said. So yeah, no catcher. Did you already talk about third baseman?
Oh yeah, we don't have a third baseman either.
Yeah.
Can we move Kellen
Slate-
back there?
You're on that train.
Can
I
it be
want
worse?
I want Kellum Clark to touch the ball as little as possible.
Yeah. Shift.
Yeah,
Shift
but
him. Put him at third and shift him to the outfield.
yeah, Slade Alford had 2 hits on Friday night, and then just looked. I mean, a lot of his at bats just look clueless. Like it's like
It reminds you of Kellum in field.
it's a really it's like a Brad Cumbus that doesn't hit 300. Like he just doesn't look comfortable at the plate. When he does make contact, it's a ground ball, and he's gonna get beat by the throw.
How is he not
Really,
faster?
really no speed at all. And man, it's hard to watch a lot of this team.
Yeah.
You know, one like big consistency that we had was Amani Larry at the top of the lineup, and you know, I'm gonna call it what it is. I think this was just a bad weekend for him. This is really the first one of those that he's had, and so I really do hope that's an outlier. He just didn't get on base very much this weekend at all, and Colton Ledbetter has strung together a few bad weekends. So, you know, if those two guys can turn it around and get hot, and I knew it would be kind of a learning curve and kind of this gap in talent that they're used to facing. If they could get hot, like this team really could, like the offense really could turn around. I don't know about the pitching staff. I don't know how a pitching staff goes about completely turning around.
Have
but
like
this
5
offense-
injured guys come back.
There you go. But those, I mean, those two guys getting hot really, really could kind of rejuvenate a lineup, because we talked about last time, like the top 4 in our lineup are huge, and they all get on base. And when they're all getting on base, it's hard to stop it. But weekends like this just look terrible, and it doesn't give me much confidence at all. Because, like I said, like you said, this is not a great SEC pitching staff that we faced, and
He was
it's
throwing
tough
86-mile-per-hour fastballs.
it really is tough that they got shut down by that.
Are you
I think
worried
that's
about Bryce Chance? The power hasn't been there.
Yeah, not since the first weekend, really. I mean, it's at some point. I mean, it could be a coin flip between him or DJ, and it's probably Bryce Chance just showing a little bit less, like being a little bit less upset when he fails. Seems like DJ lets that really affect him in all ways.
I want us to get DJ back in the lineup somewhere.
I think that'd be fun.
Because if we're gonna go down, let's at least have the guy with the highest potential on the team go out there.
Right. I don't mind that, but I mean, whatever. I don't
I guess
mind Bryce really.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
So Gotro get the same treatment as Fox.
He has his guys.
He has his recruits. They've specifically recruited launch angle guys that are supposed to be
And we
home run
grounded out
hitters.
to second. How many times?
36 times. Oh, I don't know about ground out to second.
It seemed like all of it. We're a
Yeah.
lefty-heavy lineup. You know it went to second. Um, actually,
Yeah.
two of our lefties just hit bombs, so maybe not.
Either strikeout or hit bombs. So,
And Luke sat out because his back hurt.
I just it's just becoming increasingly obvious that this coaching staff might have just been born on third.
They did the bare minimum.
They walked onto a team that had just made it to Omaha with a not very good team, or after a really bad year, but just rallied together, made it to Omaha. He had all the pieces there, and he went to Omaha with them again, and then had a 2020 season where
a shortened draft.
What?
With a shortened draft.
Shortened draft, yeah. But you did see your middle infield or leave for the draft. You filled that in, and we got to give him credit there. I mean, recruiting class and a transfer portal pickup for second baseman in Scotty DeBrule. I mean, they got your middle in Lane Forsythe. Yeah, got your middle infield back, not two first rounders or not two MLB draft picks, but gave you a middle infield back, and obviously a talented one. But man, it's just.
And I think Jomo recruited your left fielder.
Right. I mean, all the pieces that were there when you got here, and I think that they're here now.
This team is supposed to be good. Everyone tells me this team is supposed to be good. We tell you this team is supposed to be good.
I think we have starting pitching. I think we have guys that can hit for power and hit for average too. I mean, Hunter Hines hit
309 now.
The average is there, the power is there. I just don't understand.
Our guys have good stuff. Lou and Lofton should work.
Yeah, but the longer they're with Foxhall.
God. It is a trend. I don't like it. By the end of the year, Lofton's going to have 100 ERA.
All right. Well, I don't guess we'll get too far down the road until we at least see a couple more SEC weekends. Or at least.
Wait, you're going this weekend, aren't you?
I am. One SEC weekend at home. I think that might give us a little bit better of an idea.
If we get swept, how bad is our Monday episode?
It's not great because I know Vanderbilt just swept Ole Miss, which you're going to talk about in a second, but Ole Miss probably not a great team.
They're us, but they can field.
Right. So before we get into the games that happen, other games that happen around the country, we are done with the Kentucky series, but we're going to preview this Arkansas State, and it's going to be the most minimal preview we've ever done. Arkansas State is 7-11 on the season. They just got swept by Louisiana Lafayette, who we beat in Biloxi last week, 4-2. We should beat the crap out of them, to be honest. I don't really care who starts pitching. Probably going to see a lot of arms. I will tell you one thing. If Bradley Lofton is not starting this game, he will be starting probably the Sunday game, I would think, of the weekend, which I don't really think I would hate that.
I would like on Saturday. Not going to lie. Give me Gartman back on Sunday.
Yeah, don't mess with my mojo. But yeah, if Lofton starts, then I think they'll try to do what we did last week and try to get him 6 innings and just make it a real start for him. I don't care if it's against Arkansas State or
batted balls, 2 earned runs, 6 inning pitch, 1 hit.
I don't care if we're playing Arkansas or Arkansas State. He's probably going to walk a lot of batters, but probably only going to give up 2 earned runs.
I love him.
Yeah, if he starts, it's going to be a real start. Go as long as you can. But if he doesn't, he will be starting on the weekend or else coming out of the bullpen, I guess. But I don't know.
I'd start him.
How it started.
I like him.
The last time we played Arkansas State was a really weird game. We won 18-10, but going into the 8th inning, it was
18-3.
It was 6-3.
Oh yeah.
And we scored 12 runs in the 8th inning, and they scored 7 runs in the ninth to make it an 18-10 ball game. Cade Smith got a win in this one. Carlisle Kessler got the start. Kellum Clark hit his first career home run at Mississippi State, so a lot has changed.
Was that when I picked up on Cade?
That might have been.
No, I told you about Cade. You were with me at that game. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. Well, we should win. It's Arkansas State. They're not very good. We should win this game, and I hope that we're angry and coming back home inspires us to do something. Because, man, do I need to see a baseball win right now. But yeah, that's all I have. I don't care who they start. We should beat them. Now, moving on. Ranked matchups that we saw last weekend, plus a bonus that we've already talked about. You want to rapid fire these, like alternate them?
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah. Vanderbilt sweeps Ole Miss, dominant fashion. They go complete game on Saturday or on Friday. That was game 2 of their series though. A complete game, SEC Pitcher of the Week performance from Vanderbilt, and yeah, Ole Miss bats kind of got exposed.
Yeah. There was a tweet by one of the D1 guys, and he was like, "It made Ole Miss's batting order look mortal." I was like, "They got like 2 hits. That's kind of less than mortal, right?"
It looks bad.
Like that's not good. like, like that's bad. I just wanted to say that one. Next one, Florida won 2 out of 3 against Bama. I think also a complete game. Florida pitcher on Thursday night.
Their first game.
And then they finished this one up on Friday with a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Florida won the first one. Like that one was kind of back and forth, and then I didn't watch the second one because I was watching Lewis struggle against Kentucky. But Bama's closer had a really big celebration after losing a series, so I guess that was cool.
Yeah, Bama had a lead, I think, going into the 9th inning of the first game of the doubleheader. So, like, they were an inning away from winning a series at Florida. But, coming off of a series loss against Columbia, that was really big from Bama. I thought not getting swept is obviously really big. But they kind of proved themselves in this series. They can kind of swing with the best of them. Because they kind of knocked around, what's the Jack dude from Florida?
Forgot his name.
Yeah.
The Shohei from Florida.
Yeah. They kind of knocked him around pretty good. So that was a good weekend for Bama, even though they dropped the series. Virginia, moving out of the SEC, Virginia wins 2 out of 3 at NC State. Seemed like a really tight series. Came down to Sunday, the rubber match. But, yeah, Virginia takes that one.
Texas Tech run-ruled Oklahoma State in the rubber match to win. Texas Tech wins at home. It's pretty much.
Yeah, didn't really watch any of that series, but
that's what happens.
Always seems like a big
Tech
one.
at home.
Yeah. A&M salvages game 3 at home. Kind of proved this weekend Paul Skeens is legit, even against SEC hitting, and LSU absolutely the team to beat. Tommy White got SEC Player of the Week. Can't even imagine how many home runs that he hit. Yeah, LSU wins the series, and they're a force to be reckoned with.
That was a really good salvage by A&M on Game 3.
Yeah, that really is huge.
Yeah. USM lost their first series in the Fun Belt to Texas State. My Bobcats are good.
I like the Bobcats.
Does that transfer over to baseball, or do I only get them for like first 2 weeks of football?
I'll give them to you.
Okay, now do we want to read this one together? Since we've already talked about it.
You got it.
Tennessee got swept by Mizzou. What? That's weird.
That's crazy.
That's goofy, but surely that's what every SEC fan laughed about, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a crazy weekend where Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Tennessee all get swept. Like teams that, I can't even say excluding last year because that was like one of Tennessee's only years to be good. But like excluding last year, that would be like a crazy statement to hear. Like especially you hear that Kentucky and Missouri were on the other end of two of those. Um, but yeah, that's a weird one. I was not expecting that, and looked like Vitello was angry. Imagine that.
It's weird. Who would have thought?
Also, I know this is random, but I'm thinking about to last year. Do you remember when we lost that series to LSU at home?
We
Like
were there.
we got swept by LSU.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, we were there. So we were really close in that first game, right? Like it came down to like I think Jackson Fristow blew a save or something.
Yeah.
I in my mind, I'm kind of comparing that to what happened this weekend. Like LSU was a better team. They came into Starkville. We had a chance to kind of punch them in the face and steal game one. They steal it back from us and then just blow us out the next two games. I don't
Wind aided.
exactly what.
With wind.
Right. Yeah.
Those home runs were just silly in that second game.
Yeah. I think both teams, right? I
I know
remember
it
Cam
started
James
out for
hit.
LSU just being silly home runs.
Yeah.
Jacob Berry just put them up in the air. They just
Yeah.
flew out.
But like that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like a lot of times if you just get so close in the first game and then once you watch it get snatched out from under you, I just imagine that has to mess with your psyche the next couple of games. But anyway, still no excuses for getting swept, like especially getting dominated like that against Kentucky.
We
But,
had more fans than them at the game. by the
right.
way.
Also, what about your conspiracy theory that the hitters could hear Ross Heifeld's?
Okay. So I saw this on Pitching Ninja. There was a spring training game, and one of the catchers had his pitch comm turned up. Okay, so imagine Ross has it tuned for like Starkville or Biloxi, where we had like pretty high crowds, and that's what he's used to. And then you go into the frozen tundra of Lexington, and there's 28 fans in the stands. What if he had it at the same volume, and they knew what pitches were coming?
I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world.
I would like it more of an excuse as this is a young team. Oh yeah. Oh wait. What's our streak in SEC losses? I want
14.
Okay, yeah, 14 losses. I believe after the Friday game, Robbie asked him. So that's a was it? Yeah, 12 straight SEC losses. And then Chris is like, "Well, it's only 2 for this team." Chris, that's for you. Win the
Yeah.
games. Also, in his game 3 press conference, it was like, "We're a young team." Jack, without looking, how close would you say, just like thinking about it, how close is this team's age to Ole Miss's last year? We have a veteran first baseman, right?
Yeah, veteran outfielder like
Mhm.
Kevin Graham.
Veteran middle infield.
Yeah, veteran catcher sometimes. Um,
The pitching staff is young. Like,
yeah, it's similar.
young is not an excuse.
Right. I don't know.
Sorry, off my tangent again. I
Well,
feel like I've been a
with
little bit
that,
too fiery this episode.
we will get a chance to talk about Lamonis a little bit more with our Instagram questions. We have 3 of them today. We'll move into that real quick. So the first one is going to come from Duncan Helms 17. And I'm just going to give it to you like you said it. What the hell's happening?
Um,
We're young, Duncan. We're young.
we're young. That's a valid
us a break.
excuse. Only 2 of those losses are on this year's team.
Yeah, I don't know, Duncan. I really do think a weekend in a home series like we're gonna have this weekend, I think it'll help us kind of know exactly what this team's gonna look like.
It's like our
Nope.
next 12 games are in Starkville or 90 minutes down the road, right?
What's 90 minutes down the road?
Tuscaloosa.
Oh, but okay, Tuscaloosa. Okay, did not know where you were going with that, but
Like that's a pretty big home stretch.
Yeah, it really is going to be huge, and especially with Bama being good. I mean, this could be kind of a wacky little stretch. But yeah, next question is going to come from Brooks Taylor. Lamonis is closer to the hot seat. If this year ends like last year, is next year going to be do or die?
I don't think
Um,
he'll have a chance to do or die next year. Evidence
I
like last year.
I think he'll be given a chance to clean house and kind of get different position coaches.
You think he'll do it?
I don't think that would be the right move necessarily. Um, yeah, and then it would be on him. Like if he wants to break that band of guys up, or
You think he's firing cheese?
I don't know. I don't really know how close their bond is. I mean, I would assume it's pretty good. I mean, they've worked together for at least 5 years, but who knows? I think that he will be given a chance to make it work himself. Um, but we'll see. And then James McWilliams asks a similar question. If State doesn't make the postseason, is Lamonis gone? Personally, I don't think so.
Personally, I think so.
All right. There you go. All right. Thank you guys for the questions. We always enjoy answering those, and we always enjoy talking about Mississippi State baseball, even if we don't like watching it. Talking about it somehow makes it feel a little bit better. So, that's it for this episode. We will be back later this week to talk about the Arkansas State game after that has happened, and then we'll preview the Vanderbilt series and our SEC home opener coming up this weekend. So excited about that, and we'll see you guys next time on Going for Two with Jack Taylor.
Do we give our World Baseball Classic after show now?
I'm just glad America's not getting a Lemicky run to the finals.
Yeah, I'm glad we have to go against Shohei.
Yippee.
Kind of glad that we don't have to go against Roki. He's good.
What's the guy that's pitching for us? What's his name?
I don't know.
I think his name's like Merrill Kelly or something.
Can
He's
it
a
just
major
be
league.
Lance Lynn?
He's a major league pitcher, and I'm like upset that he's starting. And I'm like, all these other countries have like literally AAA players starting for them, except for Japan. Japan will have
Puerto Rico,
an MVP.
Dominican.
Shut up.
Other than all
I was
of those
talking about
teams.
like Cuba, who we just played.
Well, Cuba.
started.
Did you see their cleanup hitter?
Yeah.
Also, their closer that they brought in, dude looked drunk when he came out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he probably was.
Fair.
It was literally the guy from
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers.
I am 12, but
I am qualified to be in the World Baseball Classic.
where was that guy from in the Benchwarmers? He was Dominican, right?
Yeah, I think he was.
He's like, he's Dominican, and then he's like, I am 12. You looking it up?
Yeah.
I think.
His name is Carlos, maybe?
Yeah, I think on his birth certificate, I think there's Dominican flags.
Put a cigarette out on his tongue. Yeah, I can't.
I am
find-
12.
Just a hilarious thing that gets quoted a lot.
By like 12-year-olds and like 6th graders.
All right. Well, that's the after show.